your girl, Porchia Marie, and I'm here with our audio engineer, Anthony Majors. So, Anthony, tell us, how did you get involved in the production scene of music?
From the beginning?
Yes, from the beginning.
From the beginning, God. Okay. Shoot, well, I start off as a musician, a young musician playing at church, 9, 10 years old, trying to reach the pedals and stuff. And getting paid, learning music from a young age and just growing up around really great musicians.
And your family or like friends or what?
Nah, I was the only person in my family who's ever done music.
Really?
Ever.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it was weird because like I'm playing drums and I'm asking for all this stuff and my mom like, how much this costs? I'm like, yeah, I just need like this $1,900 drum set. She like, you get $300.
$1,900.
You can beat on them pans until you straight. So, I grew up making it work. How I could find lessons, youth programs in Oakland or whatever that taught music during the summer for free to inner city kids, or whatever I could do to, expand my craft or whatever, so.
Okay, so how did you bring your music scene from Oakland, California to Atlanta, Georgia?
It took a minute. I went to an art school in Oakland called Oakland School for the Arts, and that's when I really got into everything: production, music, writing, playing. And my teachers and stuff there were like, you should go to Berkeley, which is a school in Boston for music.
Okay.
And when I was at Berkeley, we had trips where you would go to like different hubs of music. Mm-hmm. So Nashville, LA had a trip, and New York had a trip. And while I was there, they started developing like an Atlanta trip, and it was like studio tours and stuff. So we go to Tree Sound and Silent, and we go to BMI, and we go meet up with the industry, like entertainment attorneys and you name it, whatever you could think of as far as Atlanta industry stuff. Mm-hmm. And every year on the Friday of the trip, we go to Patchwerk. Mm. And we do like a session with Miles Walker, and they hire some producers, and they let us kind of like watch the flow and stuff. And like out of all the studios, all the stops we had, this was my favorite spot to go to.
Really?
So
how did you identify Berkeley as a great school for like production engineering and things of that nature?
I mean, it's like the top contemporary music school in the world. So
like, do you have to apply like to get into that school? Like, is it like a strict process, or how does that work?
It's a really in-depth like application process. Mm-hmm. And then you have to send in a bunch of samples of everything of your past work. And then if you get that, then it's an interview process. They have like hubs all over the country where you can go and sit in front of a panel and you do this long drawn out like audition. Mm-hmm. So everybody has to audition, and based on that you get a scholarship or acceptance or whatever, and based off that you see if you're gonna move to Boston. So.
Oh, well, that's dope. So now, since you have made it to the big league, tell us about like your experience, because I know a lot of the engineers here at Patchwerk, you start off as an intern. No matter what your experience is in the past, you have to start off as an intern, non-paid, and then move your way up to getting paid. So tell us about that process.
That's a long process.
Like, how long did it take you to finally get paid?
I mean, everybody was different. I'm not gonna lie, I was a slow learner for a lot of stuff as far as the internship. Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of stuff I had to learn about the navigation of the music industry and how to deal with clients and people in the studio in general, because I was always kind of like a studio nerd or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, I like the technical aspect, but as far as the stuff that really kind of gets you elevated in this industry, like how you deal with the business and how the psychology of dealing with artists and their egos and making sure they're happy and making sure that you still keep that business sense strong and that's your prompt and that you get the studios cleaned out and ready for the next, and all that stuff, had to come after school, they
right.
didn't teach me that. So
was there ever a time you was like discouraged and you was like, you know what, forget this, I'm not about to intern no more, I'm about to just go somewhere else where I know I can make some money in another studio?
Yeah, I would say another studio, but I feel like we all, because like, I was working 3 jobs. I was teaching, I was working for my church, I was valeting.
Dang.
And I was doing like 30 sometimes plus hours internship every week. So yeah, I was tired and I didn't see, sometimes you don't see yourself moving because you're doing so much stuff and you like, dang, is this really gonna pay off,
Right.
But you can't really measure your own growth, because you're not seeing how much you're developing and how the experience is like raising you up as a professional, not just the engineer, as like an audio professional, as an industry professional.
So now, like, your experience since you are in the big leagues, who have you worked with that you always look forward to working with, or somebody you have not worked with and you look forward to working with?
I guess like some of my favorite people, just like energy and like passion wise, like how their process. I guess I would say like Pusha T, his energy in the studio is always toxic. Like he's always excited about the next thing he's working on, and he's a perfectionist, and he cares about his craft, and he wants everybody around him to care about his craft, but he's respectful of everyone in their roles.
Mm-hmm.
So if you a dope engineer, he gonna give you your props for it, and he gonna make sure you got what you need to make sure you do a good job, so the product will end up coming out right. Definitely, people like Fetty Wap, always cool with their engineers and stuff like that. It's a bunch of people I really enjoyed
the experience.
With. Yeah.
And now, who you look forward to working with that you have not worked with yet?
Just some people alone who've been here that I was kind of like, dang, I wish I could have did that session. Like, obviously, Chance the Rapper. What's that dude name that play the drums and sing? Okay, so Anderson .Paak. Definitely an artist I would love to work with. Like, his story was amazing. His backstory, being a session musician, and for 10, 15 years before he got his break, so he's mastered his craft as a musician. And then, like, when you hear his music, it's really like funky and soulful, but yet still very much mainstream. And for him to be able to jump from that to working with Dr. Dre and making, all different types of stuff, but still having that soulful sound, and then being able to pull it all together at once to where he's singing and rapping and playing the drum and not missing a beat. Like, if you play the drums, you know how hard it is to stay focused.
Right.
But to also be the artist singing and doing all that at once, like,
a
that's ridiculous. So I've always been like, man, if I could work with him, I would love to just see the process and like how his brain works, 'cause.
And speaking of an experience, I got the chance to experience a session with you the other day with Jacquees and Kurt Cobain. That was really, really dope. What did you think about that process and how they went in and did that song that they were working on?
It was great. It was a good vibe. Like, really, with a lot of stuff like that, there's no way to account for what's gonna happen.
Right.
Because you just sitting there like, all right, who knows what this person is used to, and who knows how they gonna conflict with this song, or if they gonna be in a good mood today, or if they feeling. Because he didn't even listen to the song. Remember, he got in and he was like, "Did you listen?" He's like, "Nah, I didn't even want to listen to it because I know I'm just gonna come up with ideas when I come in." So you like, oh god. So he could have heard it for the first time and been like, "It's kind of whack. I ain't got no ideas."
Right. That's true.
So.
Never thought about that, because I thought the creative process within itself was really, really dope, because he literally just went in the booth and it was like their chemistry and their vibe was dope, dope. Jacquees has a beautiful voice. Not only that, Kurt Cobain is like almost genius when it comes to the music. Like, every suggestion he made, I was like, oh, that's dope as He was super dope. I thought that was a cool experience. Now, moving forward, like, what do you expect to enter into within your career in 2018? Like, what do you expect to be new, or you would like to jump into or change up about your career?
I just want to establish myself more in a realm where it's like, just getting more comfortable with helping create the vibe for the artist, because like sometimes it's not gonna come naturally, and you can be a catalyst for a bad vibe or a really good vibe.
Right.
And so just continuing to work and also be like a curator for other things outside like the creative process, as far as putting people together, putting producers together, figuring out how to make the magic you want to see, that you want to be a part of. It's like, if you can't always happen to be in the session you want to be in, create the session you want to be in. So,
Dope.
you know, that's a big goal for me. And yeah.
Is there any advice you would give any upcoming aspiring engineers that would like to get into this business that don't know anything about it, but they know they want to become an engineer?
Well, if you don't know anything about it, definitely talk to somebody, because a lot of people think it's like, oh, you get to be around celebrities, okay. It's like, no, it's not glitz, it's not glamorous all the time. You're going to have to work for free a lot. You're going to have to, like, put up with people, you know, treating you like you ain't got the sauce. Even if you got it, sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut, pay attention, learn, sit back, observe, and grow, and wait till it's your turn. You know, it's till your time. Obviously, make the moves, not sit back and not be active, but, you know, put your head down and push forward. So I think that's the main thing as a young, aspiring engineer, especially.
And I will also, to piggyback on that, is that what I was paying attention to you during that session is that you very much so paid attention to the detail of the artist and knowing what they want and giving them exactly what they want. Like you said, you know you're dope, but they don't know if they haven't worked with you consistently. You know what I mean? Right. So for those upcoming engineers, you definitely have to pay attention to details, the very small things. For example, like Jacquees said a verse and he scratched it, and then he was like, wait, what did I say again? So if he wasn't paying attention to the mistake that he made, that he actually was trying to get back on the song, it would have kind of been a lost cause. So I think paying attention to details, paying attention to your client is very, very important, because you just don't want to be the person looking up in the studio.
No.
You just don't want to be that guy.
And that's where the internship process come in, because that's what they looking for. Like, that attention to detail is your job. So if you do something and you're not paying attention to details in the internship, they gonna see how you work in your sessions, because it's like, all right, he didn't tie the end of that trash can up, or like, you know, even getting the food runs for the clients, he didn't go that extra mile to make sure everything was right, or he not paying attention to people's what they want, because you got to be a step ahead. So you kind of have to be like, okay, I kind of have observed what this person might go for, and I'm gonna try to make sure that I'm ready for it, because all it takes is a snap second of you not being on it, and people will doubt you the rest of your session. And it's a wrap at that point. It's hard to get people back on board once they've put in their mind that you not the one. So you just gotta be on it.
Well, thank you, Anthony, for all the insight you have given us, and we are out.
Appreciate it.
Superior.